Time for another monthly update of all the income I received passively through my interest, dividends, and cashback. Let's kick things off by looking at all the dividends that I made in the month of June. I track them on GetQuinn over here as I have two different portfolios, actually with Trading 212 and Interactive Brokers, where I hold the biggest parts of my portfolio. And you can see over here in the year of 2024, I'm going to be making around $1,323, which is really nice, a nice increase from year over year. Obviously, you can see now actually that number was already higher. But what happened is that I started selling some of my dividend stocks. I made some other videos about this. Soon I will probably sell all of them and give you an update on that as well. But again, that's for another video. But still, I mean, really not too bad. By just holding a couple of dividend companies, I'm earning that money in passive income. And then I can click into 2024 over here to see really by month how much I've been making. And you can see all the various months so far what I've earned. Actually, last month was not so good in May, but now in June was actually really healthy months for me, $128. So I track everything in dollars, but again, you can change it to any currency that you're tracking in. But most of my income by now is being received in dollars. So for me, you can see the year-on-year growth of 83%, really nice. And next month also going to be a really nice month for me, $155. So looks very promising, despite me actually selling quite a few of my positions. When I go into June to see who paid me, we can see a couple of those, not too many. As I said, I reduced my positions, but you see over here my Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This is the one that I buy in euro currency. That's how I started off. But now I'll show you in a second, I start buying another one, which is based in dollars, but essentially, more or less does the same thing, tracking the S&P 500. And you can see the payout was $42. Obviously, investing in the S&P 500 is not only for the dividends, right? Because the dividend is rather low. Still better than nothing. And of course, obviously, at the same time, the capital, my investments into that ETF are growing very nicely over time. And actually, they're really well up. And yeah, really happy with that overall. And definitely, that's the idea, to divest out of my dividend shares and invest more into the S&P, because I just saw long term it's hard for me to outperform it. But as I said, I still have a couple of other dividend shares that I own. For example, Pfizer, which was one of my larger positions. And of course, the dividend is really attractive, right? Right now, I'm getting $54 every quarter paid to me. So really quite nice. And I'm happy with this, even though the total performance of Pfizer sadly hasn't been too impressive. I mean, you can see it over here when I compared the total returns with the S&P 500 of Pfizer, 41% in 10 years versus S&P 234%. You can see a major difference. And while it's so nice to get the dividend, we're now getting almost 6% dividend yield. So it sounds really quite attractive. But the overall capital appreciation is actually capital depreciation for quite a while. So definitely not my best investment to date. And that's what I'm saying, it's really hard to pick a winning stock, a dividend share company for many, many years to come. We're not talking about the 12 months or 24 months period, but really 10, 20 years out. That's why I'm just such a big fan of investing into the S&P 500. But again, that's maybe a topic for another video. Then, of course, Realty Income and Agree Realty. So these are my two real estate investment trusts. They basically, manage large real estate in the US mostly, and they pay me a monthly dividend. So that's, of course, again, very attractive. And Realty Income pays me now $23 every month, and Agree Realty, the little brother of Realty Income, pays me $7.50, and that's every single month. Now, Pfizer, on the other hand, is quarterly, and Vanguard, the S&P 500, as well quarterly. Most companies in the US, they pay quarterly. European ones, they pay annually or every 6 months. But most others quarterly or some few monthly. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. You're going to see the total dividend yield, and that's for the year, right? How they slice it up and divide it. It's nice, of course, to get money monthly, but ultimately, the total payment will be the same one way or the other. Yeah, really not too shabby. And funnily enough, when I go up over here to July, you can see that actually this is the same ETF. It just paid a couple of days later, you see, while this one paid me at the end of June. The other one pays me at the beginning of July, even though it's basically based both on the S&P 500. It's just a couple of days difference. That's why I get one in June, the other one in July. And yeah, still going to be, part of my S&P holding. You can see that's even bigger one, because I'm, starting to commit more funds into that dollar-based ETF over here, which is currently the cheapest ETF that you can buy in Europe, based on the S&P 500. As I'm really a big fan of it. And I think long term, it might actually outperform the Vanguard because of the lower expense ratio. More money will flow into it. People want to save their fees. And yeah, over time, I'm quite bullish on this long term. That's my kind of set it and forget it investment, that I don't have to think much about it, and it's just going to grow value for me. Right, with this, let's move over to the interest that I received in the month of June. Let's kick things off with Trading 212. So unfortunately, the European Central Bank started cutting the rates. So that means the overall interest rates starting to come down a little bit, at least in Europe. In the US, not yet, but in Europe, we start seeing this a little bit. Luckily, Trading 212 is one of the few apps that hasn't actually made this adjustment. So when I click at the amount over here, you can see my total account value that I have, and then I see the free funds over here, how much I have in the various accounts. And you can see the amount of interest that I'm getting on my euros, dollars, and pounds, right? Pounds right now the highest at 5.2%, dollars 5.1%, because again, over there, the interest rates are even higher than in Europe, but still on my euros, I'm getting 4.2%. So that's actually quite attractive when you think about it, right? So when I click into this, you can see last month with this alone, I earned 38 euros. Now it's not, life-changing money, but still just by keeping my money over there, which I then use to invest. And while it's not invested, it starts accumulating interest. That's really what I love about the platform. It's so easy. You can also, of course, have your dollars over here. There you can see I made also $37, which is not shabby. And pounds, I just have a little bit over there, not too much. My total cash holding, but still £2. And the cool thing is you can also go down and see how they're holding your euros, what they're investing it in. Good thing is none of that money is locked up. So if I need the money right now, I can literally just go on withdraw and I have it in my bank account next day. So it's really, really easy. And yeah, probably one of the best options right now in Europe in terms of having the highest interest rate. So if you want to check it out, use my link down in the description below. You're going to get even a free share valued up to 100 euros just by setting up your account. So definitely nothing to lose. Give it a go. And I think you're going to love the experience. Then we move on to Lightyear, which is another great app that I've been using quite a while. You can buy ETFs completely commission free as well as stocks from as little as €1. And you can also earn interest on your money. You can see right now, my money that I have over here is collecting 3.62%, but that's obviously fluctuating because once again, it's in money market funds. So sometimes it goes up, sometimes it down a little bit, but still really very attractive compared to local traditional banks, which usually pay, 0%, if anything, unless you lock it up, right? And once again, here, there's no lockup here, which for me is really powerful because I want to be flexible. So you can see over here, I earned 34 euros just by keeping my money in this account over here. So honestly, why not, right? It's once again just utilizing the money that you have anyways parked somewhere. The worst is keeping it at home under your pillow. The second worst is at your bank account without any interest. And this is the best option to really put it to work for you. So I really love that about it. Then we move on to another app that I use, and that's Trade Republic. Also a great broker that you can use, German licensed bank. So really, I feel very safe having my money over there. You can see my balance obviously a bit higher there as well. Last month, just by parking my money over there, I earned 93 euros. So that's the easiest money you can make, right? I mean, it's really, really nice. And now, sadly, they have actually lowered from 4% to 3.75 as it shows over here, because obviously they passing on the rate the EZB is setting. And therefore, if that's being lowered, they will lower it accordingly. While it's nice, if you have a loan to pay, those payments will be cheaper in the future. Same time, if you have a lot of money that you can sit on, obviously that will also collect less interest in the future because the rates are starting to come down. I think we're going to see that eventually also in the US very soon. And another really cool thing about Trade Republic is their card that they recently came out with. I've done a review about this where I wasn't really too impressed. But one thing I really love about it, for example, you can see I withdrew 1,500 euros. And best of all, it's completely free. Now, actually, it's kind of weird, right? When you think about it, it's my money, it should be free. But check out your own bank account, you will most likely be charged a fee. Now, they might have, 200 or 400 or 800 euros, free of charge a month, total allowance. But anything over that, they're going to charge you. And I checked 3 of my banks that I have, and all of them charged me 2%. It's unbelievable, taking my own money. And the only free option that I found was actually with Trade Republic. And you can even use your virtual cards. If I double click over here, I can just go ahead, select the Trade Republic card right there. And then I can go to any ATM that accepts, cardless transactions. So I can just hold it over there, put my PIN, and then take the money out. It's up to 1,500 per day. If you need more than that, you can go multiple times. But yeah, basically anything over 100 euros is absolutely free. So yeah, that's a really nice hack that I recommend you check it out if you're in need of cash quite frequently. Then we move to another app, and that's actually my Dubai-based bank account that I keep over there, and that's called the Wheel. And it's actually a really nice bank because most of those banks over there are not really the most dynamic, I would say, despite Dubai being really so developed. Sadly, the banks are a little bit lacking in that department, but the Wheel is really cool. I've been really loving the experience. Yeah, you can see on my savings. So basically, I have a current account and a savings account. So usually what I do is send most of my money into my savings account, especially if I don't use it actively, right? Right now, I'm not in Dubai, so I don't really need my cash over there. So I'm earning 5% on my dirham. So this is basically the local UAE currency. You see the amount over here, 5%, and it's paid out to me on a monthly basis. So you can see last month I was paid 217 dirhams. That's around 55 euros. So once again, just by keeping my money over there, I could lock it up to get 5.5%, but that's a fixed term. So I would have to lock it up for around 3 months, which I don't want, right? I really value flexibility. So I like to just, be able to withdraw it anytime I want. And basically with one click of a button, move that amount into my current account and start spending it. I really like that flexibility. And yeah, I mean, 5% interest, really quite attractive. It's really protected in a bank account. So I really feel safe with it. And yeah, honestly, really nice experience. We move to yet another bank. I know I use quite a few, but I really want to get the most out of my money. And of course, at the same time, diversify, right? Because some people said, Kai, why don't you park everything in one single app? But actually, at the same time, some of those have certain limits. I made videos about most of the platforms, and some of them only protect your amount up to 20,000, let's say, right? Or other brokers only pay up to 10,000 interest, and anything over they don't pay you. So I think it's important to have a number of them. Also, I enjoy trying different apps and see which experience I like the most. But yes, obviously, if you don't set on a lot of cash, you may only want to have one or two. In this case, probably Trading 212 or Trade Republic would be a great starting place. And later on, you can add some more if you wanted to. So another one that I use for getting money on my euros and dollars is Revolut. But this is really my daily banking app, I would say. I do most transactions, especially in Europe, with that app to send money to other friends, to pay for things, using it for my cashback. I'll show you in a second. So a really powerful app. I'm on the Ultra plan, and yeah, been loving the experience, been with them for over 9 years now. So yeah, really, really happy with them. You can see right now my euros, I'm getting 3.78%. So again, not as attractive as Trading 212, but here it's just super, super easy because as soon as I need the money, which is now in that saving account in a way, I can just click on withdraw. Let's just do an example. I want to withdraw 10 euros to my current account to start spending it. I click on withdraw, and boom, immediately it's literally out of here and into my current account. It's just the power of having it in Revolut, because otherwise, I mean, obviously I can still withdraw any other platform, but then once I withdraw it, I would have to send it to Revolut. And it depends on broker to broker or which app I use. But some of them can take up to 2 days, right? And that's just a little bit long if I need the money right now. And here, having some of my holdings, if I have a larger purchase to make right now, I usually don't have much on the account that doesn't collect interest. In this case, obviously, I would just have it over here, withdraw it before the purchase, and then I can go ahead with that. But yeah, you can see in total, I earned last month 42 euros by having my money sitting in Revolut Euro savings accounts. Once again, really making my money work for me. Now, they also pay interest on your US dollar holdings, which is actually 5.33%. So that's probably the highest amount that I've ever seen on any of the apps. So that's even higher than I get on my dirhams or what Trading 212 is offering. So 5.33 if you have a lot of dollars or invest into dollars. And honestly, it makes sense. Now, I used to have quite a bit of dollars sitting over here, but recently I used those for different purchases. So sadly, I just had to send them out. But previously, I got quite some nice interest from that. But last month, yeah, very little, because obviously my holding is near to zero. But if you're holding dollars, I think Revolut could be a great option. Now, one thing to keep in mind, obviously, the interest also depends on which plan you're on. As I said, I'm on the highest plan, the Ultra plan, so my interest might be a bit higher than what you'll be getting. So in this case, it might be yet another consideration for you to make if you want to level up and maybe upgrade your membership tier with Revolut, because in this case, as I said, because in some cases, this alone might actually almost pay for your memberships. The last app that I use to get interest payment on my money is actually Nexo. Now, Nexo is a crypto exchange in a way, right? And here I don't get money on my euros, but instead what I do is, actually you will see in my wallet, I basically made a transfer from my Revolut into my Nexo wallet, and I converted those euros into USDT. Made a whole video about it, but USDT is basically a stable coin that flows 1-to-1 with the dollar. So it's basically a digital dollar if you want, crypto based. Having this over here, if I click into this, I'm actually earning 11% interest per year paid out to me on a daily basis. So really quite attractive. And yeah, I really like that. I started with a smaller amount, but I might actually in the future, as the other interest rates are starting to drop, send more and more money into here, because that's for me really attractive. I feel quite safe with it. Now, of course, there are certain risks. The platform might go down, or USDT might have some issues in the future. But right now, as we are in a bull market in the crypto space, I feel very confident. You can see over here all the various transactions. Every single day, I'm getting interest on all my various holdings that I have. And yeah, really starts adding up nicely. 150 alone from the USDT. And that alone came out to around 26 euros last month. So once again, not too shabby, right? Instead of just having my money sitting around on my crypto, not doing anything for me, by doing that through Nexo, I'm actually earning a little bit of passive income as well, which is awesome. And if you want to check it out for yourself, then I also have a link down in the description below, so you can sign up to Nexo, top up $100 or more, leave it there for a month, and you're going to be getting $25 worth of free Bitcoin. So definitely worthwhile to check it out. Right, with this, we move on to the last part, and this is the cashback that I got by using my card to spend and buy things. So that's also a nice way to get passive income. Of course, the more you spend, the more you get. So it's a double-edged sword, but still a great way to make a little bit of extra income on the side. So with this, we jump back into Revolut, which I use, as I said, my daily banking app, and also therefore to use my card mostly to buy things and so forth. And yeah, basically I can go down over here and you can see cashback. If I click into this, you will see total cashback that I earned by using my card so far is 881 euros. So really literally by just spending with my card, I got it. Now, as I said, I'm on the Revolut Ultra plan and I use it together with my Revolut Pro card. So that way I'm actually getting 1.2% cashback on pretty much most transactions, which is really awesome. And yeah, you can see last month I earned 52 euros just by using my card for that. So literally every time I double click over here, you can see my Revolut Pro card, I make a transaction and boom, right away I get 1.2% cashback. It's literally the next day added to that balance and they are paid out to me on a monthly basis. And that alone pays already for my membership. So for my Revolut Ultra plan, I pay actually 45 euros per month. So literally you see most of the months, even previously when I go back further, most of those months, some of the months even higher, it already covers my membership. On top of it, I get obviously things like free airport lounge access, free VPN, and many other perks which come with it. You can see over here when I go into the benefits that I'm getting. And actually, I saw they added quite a few new ones. For example, Masterclass. I have now full access to Masterclass, which is awesome. Definitely have to check it out. Read the Financial Times, which is also a real nice perk that I use on a daily basis, actually. So for me, it really makes financial sense. And the second card that I use for cashback is once again in my Wio account in Dubai. Here you can see I received 171 dirhams or around 43 euros in the month of June. Here I get 1% cashback on every single transaction. The more I am in Dubai, the cashback in the Wio account will be more. If I spend more time in Europe or elsewhere, then obviously I'm going to be using more my Revolut card and therefore get 1.2% cashback. So depending where I am, the cashback will be higher, but using those two cards together really makes me get the best out of both worlds, so to say. All in all, if I add up the dividends, cashback and interest, it came to 538 euros in the month of June. So honestly, really not too shabby, just by smartly using my money, obviously allocating it into investments, parking it in a place where I get interest, and of course benefiting from the cashback every time I do have expenses, because we all have expenses anyways, right? So why not benefit from it in the process? Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Ciao!